I've studied the institutions of marriage when I visit, and I found that they are interested in having the men marry as early as possible. Why is that? Because we all have a natural urge to want to procreate. We all have a natural urge to want to be with a woman or be with a man. That is natural. So it's kind of difficult to totally circumvent that until you're at a certain economic level, which you don't control because we are not employers. So we have to balance the economics with the natural order of things.
Yes, yes. All right, we're going to continue here live in the remix. We're going to go to the next caller. It looks like calling in from a private number. You are live in the remix. Please tell us who you are and where you're calling from.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Do you hear me?
Yes, we can.
First I want to say hello to Mr. Umar. First I want to introduce myself. I am an Arab from the Middle East. And I have a questions for what he just said regarding marriage from a young age. The Prophet, he did marry Aisha at the age of 6. So I don't know if he is advising us to marry little kids at the age of 6 so we can have better life. And regarding affording our life for marriage, the Prophet, he have a total of 13 women, which means he have 13 houses to take care of and 13 wives to spend his money on. In the same time, Prophet, he was not even working. So I don't know how we blame everything in the society today when you as a Muslim, you are even rejecting to do what the Prophet do. Because the Prophet, he did not make it complicated. He liked a little kid, he married her. He did not think about money. He just want to have her, he have her. And regarding dating, I think Islam solved the problem, because in Islam you can have a woman for muta. I don't know if you heard about muta before or not. You can go to any woman. You do not need to date her. You do not need to know her. You say to her, I want to be with you for 3 days or 1 night or 2 nights. How much you charge me? And, you take her to the bed and you sleep with her. And this is all is halal. So I don't know why the Muslims in USA, they are not following the Prophet's steps. Is that because they rejected? I want to hear your answer, please.
Okay. I know you mentioned that you were an Arab. Are you an African who happens to be an Arab, or are you an Arab?
I don't know. I feel like, Mr. Umar, with my respect to you, I think this question is kind of racist, because if I am an Arab or not, there is nothing it's called Arab African, by the way. The Arab are Arab. If they are in Africa, because they went to Africa and they occupy Africa. We are Arab wherever we go. Like if I am in America, I'm still an Arab. If I go to Tunisia, I'm still an Arab. The Arabs are Arab. There's nothing called Arab African.
Okay.
I'm going to have to disagree with you there, because when you study the history of Arabs, especially during the time of Muhammad ibn Abdullah and immediately prior to that, you will find that Arabs, most of which were African people. In fact, during the time of Muhammad, the Middle East was not called such, but it was considered Africa's northeast extension. And all of those lands were inhabited by dark-skinned people, Muhammad himself being of African descent. So I was asking whether you were an African, because I know Africans who are Arabs, and I know Africans who have ancestors who migrated to the so-called Middle East from Africa and had been there 20, 40, 60,000 years ago. So they were Africans in Arabia. But today when we speak of an Arab, we're speaking of someone who is an Asiatic, partly related to the European. So when you call this show, which is, I'm sure Ms. Blue has it open to everyone, but it's predominantly for African-American listeners, I wasn't sure if you were an African brother who happens to be an Arab calling, or were you a modern-day Arab from the Middle East? Because if that were the case, then I wasn't too sure why you were calling in.
Okay, can I talk?
Sure.
Yes, you may talk, yeah.
Thank you very much. Well, first, sir, your information is very, very wrong, and you can back it up. The Arab are people who they are from Asia. They are not from Africa. The first man who entered Egypt by occupation, it was Umar ibn al-As. When Umar ibn al-Khattab, he sent him. And Aisha, the wife of the Prophet, it's called the blondie. Why? Because she have a red hair. So what you are saying, I can back up everything I say from Hadith, from Sahih al-Bukhari, from Sahih
But
al-Bukhari.
the Hadith is not an objectively verifiable text. As you know, the Hadith of Islam, just like the Gospels of Christianity, were handed down by word of mouth for approximately 200 years before they were committed to writing. So you cannot use the Hadith to support your argument because Hadith is hearsay itself.
Hadith, you learn how to pray?
Exactly, but we're talking about Hadith. Well,
yeah, Hadith, it is in the Hadith how to pray. It is not in the Quran.
But let me
now that you can accept.
I want to clarify something with you, though. This is very, very important. I was raised in Islam, and I still practice Islam, but I am an African first who happens to be a Muslim. I am not a Muslim who happens to be an African, and I'm saying that to say respectfully that I have nothing in common with any other Muslim who is not an African, because my religion is limited to my racial identity, and I need to be very clear about that.
All right. And with that being said, with all due respect to the individual, and I don't remember catching your name that called in, thank you for calling in and sharing your thoughts with us today. We're going to continue right here live in the remix. I am your host, of course, Miss Blue, and we're going to go to the next caller calling in from area code 816. You are live in the remix. Please tell us who you are and where you're calling from. 816. Let's see. Maybe we'll go to the next caller. Calling in from the next caller, it looks like calling in again from area code 347. You are live in the remix. Please tell us who you are and where you're calling from. 347. I think everybody's a little bit off there, but let me just give them a second and see. We're going to go back to area code 816. You're live in the remix. Please tell us who you are and where you're calling from. Can you hear me? Can you guys still hear me? Brother Johnson, can you hear me?
I'm still here. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, perfect. All right. We're going to keep going. Going to area code 302. You are live in the remix. Please tell us who you are and where you're calling from.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hello.
Greetings, greetings. Thanks for calling in. Who's calling, please?
This is Butterfly, and I'm calling in from the moon.
Okay, well, greetings to you, sister from the moon.
Yes, yes. I just wanted to say that this is a delicious program tonight, and I just wanted to share with everyone also that, and I'm sure the speaker